Hello students, today we'll discuss about ozone depletion. It is a very interesting topic and you must be reading newspapers and talking about everywhere. You must be hearing about ozone layer depletion everywhere. You also must be knowing about ozone hole. So we'll study about it. What is it actually? My name is Dr. Preeti Mathur, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, SPC, Government College Ajmer. Now we'll study about ozone layers. There are various types of molecules present in the atmosphere. We'll also study about ozone depletion. How does the ozone layer depletes? We'll study about the causes of ozone depletion. We'll also study about impacts of ozone depletion. How does it harm to human being? And also we'll study about the importance of ozone layer. So these will be the topics of our discussion and it is very important to discuss about this topic. What is ozone layer? First you see the O3 written and there are 3 molecules present in this ozone molecule. Secondly, a gas composed of 3 atoms of oxygen. As the formula indicates that there are 3 atoms of oxygen in it. Thirdly, bluish gas that is harmful to breathe. It is a bluish gas and it is very harmful to breathe. Fourthly, nearly 90% of Earth's ozone is in the stratosphere and referred to as the ozone layer. Fifthly, ozone absorbs a band of ultraviolet radiation called UVB, ultraviolet band. So this is the structure which is shown in this slide where ultraviolet rays are shown, then there is sunlight, then you can see the ozone hole over here, sunlight and ultraviolet layer you can see clearly. There is an ozone layer present in the lower atmosphere. Now what is ozone depletion? Ozone depletion consists of 2 related events observed since the late 1970s. A steady lowering of about 4% in the total amount of ozone in Earth's atmosphere, the ozone layer, that is the ozone layer, and a much larger springtime decrease in stratospheric ozone around Earth's polar regions. Polar regions जानते हो स्टूडेंट्स? ये ग्लोब के दोनों तरफ, दोनों एंड्स में, नॉर्थ पोल, साउथ पोल, these ends present in the globe are known as polar regions, polar ends or polar regions. So the latter phenomenon is referred to as the ozone hole. There are also springtime polar tropospheric ozone depletion events in addition to these stratospheric events. The main cause of ozone depletion and the ozone hole is manufactured chemicals, especially manufactured halocarbon refrigerants. हम फ्रिज वगैरह में यूज़ करते हैं वो रेफ्रिजरेंट्स, और सॉल्वेंट्स, प्रोपेलेंट्स एंड फोम, FOM, फोम मतलब झाग, foam blowing agents that are chlorofluorocarbons. You can shortly write CFCs, HCFCs and halogens, referred to as ozone depleting substances, that is ODS. shortly कभी कभी मैं ODS से भी रेफर करूँगी तो आप उसको समझ लेना, ozone depleting substances. These compounds are transported into the stratosphere by turbulent mixing after being emitted from the surface, mixing much faster than the molecules can settle. Once in the stratosphere, they release halogen atoms through photodissociation, which catalyze the breakdown of ozone into oxygen. Both types of ozone depletion were observed to increase as emissions of halocarbons increased. Students, now here another point comes, that is the ozone depletion and the ozone hole have generated worldwide concern over increased cancer risks and other negative effects. In this diagram, you can see the ozone layers, different ozone layers. There are 5 shown over here. First one is exosphere. It is of 400 kilometers altitude. Then thermosphere. It is of 300 kilometer. And then mesosphere, that is 50 kilometer. Stratosphere, that is of 40 kilometer. And troposphere, that is of 10 kilometers. Here in this slide, you can see how the ozone layer is formed. The formation of ozone layer. There are 2 molecules of oxygen plus sunlight. Then the 2 molecules, they are O plus O. And then this O plus, that is oxygen plus O2 molecule, they add and then O3 molecule is formed. So there are 3 atoms of oxygen and ozone contains 3 atoms of oxygen. They unite, O2 unite with single oxygen atom and then ozone is formed. Ozone chemically forms when ultraviolet hits on stratosphere. Oxygen molecules dissociate into atomic oxygen, that is O2 gives 2 atoms of oxygen, O plus O. Atomic oxygen quickly combines with other oxygen molecules to form ozone. O plus O2 gives O3. Ozone depletion over here. Here, ozone layer depletion is simply the wearing out, reduction of the amount of ozone in the stratosphere. Unlike pollution, which has many types and causes, ozone depletion has been pinned down to one major human activity. Industries that manufacture things like insulating foams, solvents, soaps, cooling things like air conditioners, refrigerators, and takeaway containers use something called chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs. इस डायग्राम में हम देख रहे हैं स्टूडेंट्स, डिप्लीशन begins when CFCs get into the stratosphere. Ultraviolet radiation from the sun breaks down these CFCs. इसका मतलब ये है कि जैसे इन हाउसेस में जैसे हम रेफ्रिजरेटर्स, एसीज, एयर कंडीशनर्स वगैरह यूज़ करते हैं तो उनसे कौन सी गैस निकलती है? CFC, chlorofluorocarbons निकलते हैं. And these gases when they are released in the atmosphere, that is in the stratosphere layer and troposphere layer of the atmosphere, तो क्या होता है, जो ऊपर ओजोन लेयर है उसमें एक होल हो जाता है. जैसा कि इस डायग्राम में भी आप देख सकते हैं, ओजोन डिप्लीशन है और जो सूरज की किरणें हैं वो उस जगह से जहाँ ओजोन होल हो गया वहाँ से सीधी अर्थ पर आने लग जाती हैं. तो ये जबकि सीधी नहीं आनी चाहिए, तो सोलर रेडिएशन शुड बी फर्स्ट, दे शुड रीच द ओजोन लेयर. ओजोन लेयर पे पहले पड़नी चाहिए, फिर उसके बाद अर्थ तक पहुंचनी चाहिए, ताकि हार्मफुल अल्ट्रावायलेट रेज हमको हार्म ना पहुंचा सकें. सो in this way the depletion begins. Here in this slide you can see the chlorofluorocarbons. They are released into the environment by industries. They rises up to the stratosphere. Second, you can see the sunlight breaks CFCs up, releasing chlorine. And third point, you can see chlorine reacts with ozone molecule and destroys ozone layer. Destroys ozone. And then fourth point, you can see more reactions cause more depletion. So the breaking up of action releases chlorine atoms. Chlorine atoms react with ozone, starting a chemical cycle that destroys the good ozone in that area, and one chlorine atom can break apart more than 100,000 ozone molecules. How much? 100,000 ozone molecules. Now, causes of ozone depletion. First is man-made causes. Man-made causes are chlorofluorocarbons, halogens, methyl chloroform, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, and HCFCs. This is a short form, and natural causes. These are the causes of ozone layer depletion. Ozone hole and its causes. The Antarctic ozone hole is an area of the Antarctic stratosphere in which the recent ozone levels have dropped to as low as 33% of their pre-1975 values. The ozone hole occurs during the Antarctic spring from September to early December as strong westerly winds start to circulate around the continent and create an atmospheric container. Within this polar vortex, over 50% of the lower stratospheric ozone is destroyed during the Antarctic spring. इस स्लाइड में हम देखेंगे इम्पैक्ट्स ऑफ ओजोन डिप्लीशन. हार्म टू ह्यूमन हेल्थ. More skin cancers, sunburns, and premature aging of the skin. तो ओजोन डिप्लीशन से क्या होता है? जो स्किन कैंसर्स ये डेवलप हो जाते हैं, सनबर्न्स हो जाते हैं, प्रीमैच्योर एजिंग हो जाती है स्किन की. मोर कैटरेक्ट्स, blindness, and other eye diseases also occur due to the depletion of the ozone layer. Second, adverse impacts on agriculture. एग्रीकल्चर पे भी बहुत एडवर्स इफेक्ट पड़ता है इसका, जैसे प्लांट ग्रोथ स्पेशली इन सीडलिंग स्टेज is harmed by more intense ultraviolet radiation. Major crop species are particularly vulnerable to increased ultraviolet, resulting in reduced growth, photosynthesis and flowering. Now, plants के ऊपर क्या इफेक्ट पड़ता है? इफेक्ट्स ऑन प्लांट्स इसमें आप डायग्राम में भी देख सकते हैं. ओजोन इंजरी टू येलो पॉपुलर and then ozone injury to milkweed, है ना? You can see over here in the diagrams also. And this is physiological and developmental processes of plants are affected by ultraviolet radiations, even by the amount of UVB in present day sunlight. Here you can see effect on animals. In domestic animals, ultraviolet overexposure may cause eye and skin cancers. Species of marine animals in their developmental stage, for example, young fish, shrimp larvae, and crab larvae have been threatened in recent years by the increased ultraviolet radiation under the Antarctic ozone hole. Now, effect on materials, that is wood, plastic, rubber, fabrics, and many construction materials are degraded by ultraviolet radiations. And the economic impact of replacing and or protecting materials could be significant. I end my lecture here. I thank you students for patiently hearing me. I repeat my name. I am Dr. Preeti Mathur, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, SPC, Government College, Ajmer. My email address is here. So students, be tuned. We'll meet again. Thank you.